I would say, using a quote from Saint Francis of Assisi, which I found it always so profound. I will look at him. Actually, I will take him on my lap. I will look at him. I will hug him, and I will look at him straight into the eyes, and I would say, start doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you will find yourself doing the impossible.
Welcome to a new episode of the DefDevice Podcast. And today, my very special guest is Dottore Mauri. Welcome, Mauri.
Good to see you, Dan. It's always a pleasure. And thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining, man. We have been Mauri is a very special guy here in Malaysia. He is one of the very few people on my podcast who are actually in my physical surrounding. He is organizing some amazing events for men, supporting men, creating brotherhood stuff. It's not for me to explain what he does, but I can say from my first-hand experience that is very impressive. And that is the reason why I'm so pleased to have him here on my podcast. So, Mr. Mauri, please tell us, what are you doing today?
Oh, that's a powerful question, because I'm doing actually a lot of stuff. I am, and we are all together. At the moment, I would say I'm simply answering to a call, a strong call, that in my 30s, I was ticking all the boxes of a successful man. So I was working back then, highly engaged and involved into the luxury fashion industry. Back then, I was working for Fendi, Prada, Choo, those brands. And I was really successful in terms of career, in terms of finances, in terms of authority. But even in my 30s, that I had zero clue and very little self-awareness, I felt that something is missing. I was asking myself, I was questioning myself, is this life? Okay, I'm doing well. My skills are recognized. I'm getting very well paid. I traveled 6 stars hotels. I was the top seller for many years in a row for Prada. So think about 500 plus stores all around the world. I was the number one salesperson. So a lot of even ego, But even then, I said, life cannot be this. It can't be that, you work for somebody else and then 5 days a week, and then what else? What else is possible? So that question, to get an answer, took more than 10 years. So to reply to your question, that call has been answered 3 years ago. And until today, when I wake up, I think about. When I go to sleep, I think about. Every single second of my existence is focused on men's work. Men's work are all those activities related to mental health, physical well-being, and emotional well-being. So it is a kind of an holistic approach to manhood, fatherhood, boyhood. Why? Because at the moment, I just realized, as a man of almost middle age, almost in my 50s, I'm 48 this year, and living after, growing in Italy in a small place called Padova, then moving to England, Japan, US, Colombia, and different places in Asia, that there is always one main struggle. We all struggle as men to open up, because we are so conditioned by the society. If a man opens up and truly shares what's going on within, in his head, in his heart, people judge him as a weak. Consequently, the work that we are doing at the moment in Malaysia, men's work, it's extraordinary. So at the moment, I'm absolutely focused. I founded MyMasterMan, which is a platform that delivers different services, from one-on-one coaching up to community-based activities. We have a men's circle, which is a monthly gathering in the capital of the country, Kuala Lumpur, beautiful city, and the second largest city in Malaysia, Penang, up north nearby Thailand. Once a month, actually tomorrow, Wednesday 25th, will be in Kuala Lumpur. We gather together and we sit on a circle as a kind of a modern tribe where men from different walks of life gather together. And my duty as a facilitator or organizer is to create a safe space where men feel safe to address and speak out their truth and removing the masks. Each one of us, I'm sure that Dano, you can resonate. Whoever is watching this podcast, it will resonate. As men, we are so good at faking it, so good at use different masks with the wife, with the kids, with the colleagues, with the boss, playing soccer with friends at the bar. We always pretending something because we create this kind of an armor around us simply to protect ourselves. So at the men's circle, we do exactly the opposite. We unlearn. We take a step out of the comfort zone. We take ownership. Instead of protecting ourselves because we feel safe, we remove the armor and we put ourselves out. Simply because no one of the brothers, the fellow men joining the circle will judge you. Everybody will listen to you actively without the need of fixing you, suggesting you, because number one, you're not broken. Number two, each one of us is going through struggle. So who is in the position to judge another fellow man? So this work is so profound. And there are literally men from all over the world. And of course, Malaysians. Malaysia in particular, being such an amazing, diverse community. You go Malay, so Muslim. You go Indian Malaysian, so mainly Hinduist. And then you have Chinese Malaysians, Buddhist, Taoist, Christian, Catholic. So what is not, it is not a religious group. It is not therapy. It's not a cult. It's a proper modern tribe of courageous men, really courageous men, that they put themselves out without hiding, and they start a process of self-mastery and self-awareness. And I want to specify that at times people think that these men's group are for superheroes, alpha male. No, this is for each man. Doesn't matter the title, the car you're driving, the bank account you have, how many women you slept with. You strip out, you let go of all those titles, and you come as a man. Because before to be a businessman, before to be a father, before to be a husband, before to be a football player, or whatever you are doing in life, you are a man. And as a man, either biologically and emotionally, believe it or not, you are going through exactly the same as other billions of men. The point is, we don't talk to one another. We don't open up. So we think we are the only one in this journey. And I call it the syndrome of the lone wolf. So there is nothing so powerful, nothing so profound and amazing to see a man that comes skeptical to the men's circle. He looks around, he feels discomfort and a bit embarrassed. And when he sees other men open up, you see his expression. It relaxes. He let go. You remove from him 10 kg of weight. And it's incredible that whoever stick to the plan, comes to the men's circles, to the activities we create, hiking or physical activity, working out together, really sees the benefit, and not only the men, but all the people around him. The amount of love, support I'm receiving from the wife, the kids, the girlfriends, at times the mother, is massive, because the man by himself usually is a leader of a little community. Could be the family, could be his own community, could be the neighborhood, could be in the workplace. So when a man become more self-aware, less abusive, and start to deal, not to reject and suppress, but to deal with his emotions, become even more interesting to women, because women love to be with a man, not only because he's maybe financially secure or good looking, or because a woman stays with a man because she feels safe. So you can be a millionaire, but if a woman feels unsafe with you, will run away from you. or whoever woman stays with you, it's clearly staying with you because maybe you got money or you got power, not because she loves you. Because any human being will be in a relationship where he or she feels unsafe. So even if you are a single man and you're looking for a partner and you've been trying many things, you've been rejected, coming to the men's circle will support you, number one, to understand what is holding you back. Have self-awareness. Consequently, when you are self-aware of what is holding you back, then you take an action plan. Means you take action in order to solve that problem. And consequently, then you achieve whatever goal you have. More money, more authority, more leadership, be with a woman, having a family, whatever you have in your mind. So it's amazing, Dano. It's amazing because what I'm doing today, interesting enough, is closing a circle in terms of finally acknowledging the gift that the creator gave me. In my 20s, all my friends, all the people were going through and get connected with Italy, UK, whatever was living, they all told me you should be a coach, a mentor, a kind of a motivational speaker. But back then, I didn't have the tools to acknowledge that. And I wanted to avoid that kind of work because I thought, wow, if I serve others, how can I make a living out of it, right? A lot of limiting beliefs. So I was seeking big deals, business to validate myself because coming from a middle-class family where there was a lot of limiting beliefs in terms of financial freedom and so on and so forth, I wanted to prove that I was the one going to make money and actually did in a way, but still I didn't feel aligned. Now, paradoxically, that I'm doing what I firmly believe I came on earth to do, now is a different ball game. So I work 10 hours more a day, but I love what I'm doing. So it's incredible, this kind of alignment that I was reading in the books, watching documentaries, be aligned. Once you do when you have your passion, it doesn't feel like working. And actually, at the beginning, I couldn't believe that because I never experienced it. But now that I'm living it, it's true. Once you are aligned, is not doing a profession just for the sake of having the money. It's doing a profession because it's you. It's part of your cells. It's your energy, And so it feels differently. And it's a beautiful feeling, to be honest.
Oh yeah, Mr. Mauri, that was very impressive. And I have first-hand experience, as I said. Yeah, I think what you're doing and how you are helping men to become the better version of themselves is really amazing and really helpful, and something that I think most men actually need, this kind of brotherhood where they can open up and yeah, I experienced how you can. I mean, the people around you, they're open to listen to you. You can show your weakness. You can be who you really are. You don't have to pretend to be cool and strong and rich and whatever. So I think it's a great thing to have this kind of space where you can show your weakness and where you can connect with other guys who are being compassionate and who are helpful. And it's also a networking environment, right? I mean, it's not just where you go and you do some dumbbells and walk, but you actually meet people and you meet very interesting people. Most of these guys have done impressive stuff in their lives, and there's also a lot of potential to actually create new connections and maybe even do business together. So it is. Yeah, I think you created something very meaningful there, and I love how you say that if you finally find your passion and do what you are actually meant to do, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It's just you enjoy what you're doing. You don't have to, even if you didn't get paid, you would still do it. But I mean, obviously, money is important in our world. We cannot neglect it, but still, I mean, the first motivation I fully agree. The first motivation to do something should not be the money. It should be because this is what I want to do. And the money should be just a side effect of doing what I want to do.
Yeah, Giordano. And I want just to go back a second. I would like to reframe, because it's not that a man comes and shows weaknesses. Because, I think we have a duty, Giordano. And that's the work what I'm doing, we are doing, is to break the stigma that acknowledging your emotions is not weakness. You are a human being. The point is this: thinking like this, women that have been doing a massive and amazing work on themselves, genetically, energetically, are much more keen than men to do the inner work. So to get to know themselves, simply because a woman will never be judged if she's emotional or she speaks about her emotion. It's just conditioning. It's just conditioning. When it comes to men, due to the fact that man is being created by the creator, even physically more solid, more muscles, because the man is the provider. Back then, our ancestors, the women were staying in the cave, protecting the kids. The men were going hunting, risking their life, literally their life, and bring back the food and give it to the lady, and then feed the kids and the family. Consequently, men, we've been developing for centuries a lot of analytical approach and problem solving to life. But what is the thing that's amazing? We are amazing problem solver. But when it comes to connect from the neck down, if you approach your emotions in an analytical way, you don't know how to approach them, because there cannot be an analytical approach to emotions. So what we do, we shut down. Number two, we never receive guidance on how to deal with emotions. The only thing that's been told us: you are a man, you cannot cry. You are a man, you cannot show up your emotions. And I'm not I'm not preaching the fact that we need to go and crying everywhere. No. But what I'm saying, that as men, we spend our entire life neglecting 80% of our being, which is made by emotions, simply because we don't know how to deal, we don't want to deal with it, and we are scared to deal with it. So what we do, and on that we are very good, we develop addiction to dopamine. Could be overeating sugar, overeating, overworking, or even overworking out. And of course, any kind of drugs, alcohol, porn, gambling, any kind of rush of dopamine, which delete the kind of discomfort we know when I feel angry, when I feel insecure. Then we are very good at it. But what is happening? There's so many data that are quite, I won't say scaring, but quite worrying. The testosterone level, things you can check easy on Google or ChatGPT. From the 1970s, the level of testosterone in male, healthy male, is down more than 20%. Men are the one most likely to drop the studies, to end up in jail, and to develop addictions compared to women. And it's not about one country, it's a study that's been done for all the men around the world. Simply because we think that we can live our entire existence in this lifetime without dealing with our emotions. So the emotions, my dear fellow men, and I'm sure women watching this podcast, they will understand very good. Your emotions are no weaknesses, are your superpower. Think about, doesn't matter if you are a CEO, a student, or a painter. Life is being designed for you to be experienced, either in the joy, either in the suffering, either in the success, either in the failure. Life is an experience, and we came on earth to experience the full package. So what makes different your experience, Dano's experience, and my experience is the way we relate, we respond or react to life. Beautiful. So how can I respond or react in a different way? Is getting to know yourself. It's self-awareness. Means getting to know your emotions, understanding why and when you get triggered into anger, frustration, insecurities, and then start to do a beautiful, profound work on understanding where the trigger comes, create a space, means, and there are many tools that probably today we don't have the time to go through, but to create a space, observe and deal with that emotion, and you let it go. And that is freedom. The true freedom is to be able to be in deep shit or touching the heaven with one finger, and in both ways, you know exactly how you're going to behave. That's the freedom. Money will give you always freedom, but you're going to be attached on something which is outside of yourself. You don't have any even control, because you might get scammed one day. They bring out all the millions that you have. You might have the most great job in the world. You are the best CEO. You get fired. Or you don't have nothing in control besides yourself. And that's freedom, that's power that nobody will never take away from you. Money, a house, a family, everything can be taken away from you, besides your self-mastery.
Oh, yeah, man. These are holy words, and I fully agree. And I believe it's very powerful to look inside and to, I mean, the big difference between react and respond. A mentor of mine taught me one day. Reaction is something where we simply it's like you push a button and then the response comes, and we have no control. It's like an automation, you know. Response is when I actually take this time, as you said, to breathe maybe and to actually choose how I will respond to this trigger. If somebody insults me or whatever happens in my life, I mean, there's a big difference between reacting and responding includes me choosing my response instead of just reacting like a robot. And I agree, that is freedom. The freedom is when we actually get to choose and we get to respond, rather than just be like like puppets, which just do the same thing every time somebody pushes a button. And it goes so much more deeper than that. Yeah. So I'm a big fan these days of looking inside, of exploring my subconscious mind, which I believe is the one that is actually running my life. And I think, Mauri, you are also in this business of looking under the surface of what are the things that are stored deep inside us that has never been uncovered, because as the name says, they are subconscious. And if we do not bring these subconscious beliefs and traumas and limiting beliefs to the surface, they will just keep on holding us back our entire lives. And I think this is part of your work, Mauri, where you actually help men to uncover this, this little rabbit hole inside us, and to find out what are these limiting beliefs and how to overcome them. Because, I mean, there's nothing more of a transformation in life than to overcome a belief that, for example, says, I am not good enough, if I carry this belief in myself, I'm not good enough, I can work my ass off. It doesn't matter, because at some point, whatever I do, it will be just spoiled by the universe, by whatever you call it, because I have this deep inner feeling that I'm not good enough, so I will not get anything good. So looking deep inside, as you mentioned before, I think is super, super important.
Wow, Dano, you said it beautifully. You can work. We got this culture, especially when it comes to men, of grinding it, hustling, overdoing it. Let me work 10 hours. When out of 10 hours, we sacrifice the relationship, maybe with the kids, the family, the spouse, or even if you are single, just, go and read a book, go and enroll yourself in a course of AI, go and learn something new, because we love to say, I'm busy. Have you noticed now that lately, you reach out people, I'm busy, I'm on a meeting, I am busy. And I'm pretty sure that 80% that tell me I'm busy, I'm on a meeting, they may be watching Netflix, or they're just pretending, yeah. I got this strong feeling without judgment. But so we got this culture that is about quantity. But, so I want to there is three categories of human beings in general, but let's talk about men for the sake of this conversation. There is the man who is unaware, means the guy that he feels something off. He never takes the time to slow down himself and say, wait a second, but why anytime I go out and approach a woman, they reject me? Why, when my mother says that word, I become so aggressive? They just become aggressive. They just get rejected. But they say, okay, fuck it, let's have another beer, life is beautiful, and they keep going. Those are the ones that they feel off, but they are totally unaware what is that. Then you go to the second category. The guys that they had a bit of awareness, say, wait a second, I get rejected. Maybe it's because I talk a bit too aggressive to women, or because I'm too insecure. And then maybe they had like this kind of hard conversation with the father or the mother. And they say, maybe they are right, These things I noticed that since I'm 12, I keep procrastinating, example. So they are aware, but they don't know what to do, what's the next step, how to get guidance. Or then you have the third category, the men that for some reason, they have maybe guidance, mentors, or they invest in mentors, coaching, or they simply spend time online and find answers that they start to do the work. But I guess sometimes a bit discouraged because, wow, every man wants to, get the results in 2 weeks. Actually, it takes a lifetime, it's a lifetime work. So those are the three categories. And it's very powerful because the work that I am and we are doing is actually hitting those three categories. And at times, it's I can't hide that at times I get triggered as well because, and then it's interesting.
Oh, you're only human, is it? Oh, I thought you're
of course, I get
Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, I get triggered, and that's why for me it's helping me a lot to get to know myself because at times I can see so clearly. Let's call it Jonathan. I meet Jonathan, and it's so clearly that I can not only help him in terms of mentoring him one-on-one, but even just to come to the men's circle. And he's avoiding it in many ways. At the beginning, I was getting attached, saying, how comes, man? But then, you know what? A beautiful realization that we are not here to save the life of anyone. We are here to contribute 100%. Life is about contribution. And the first step, the most beautiful, powerful, romantic, profound contribution you can do to the humanity is getting to know yourself and work on yourself to let go of the traumas. Because whoever is watching us, this guy, the other guy, both of us in black today for some reason, we all have traumas that we came on earth to go through. So now you got two choices. Once you acknowledge that life is about coming physically on earth, acknowledging your traumas, and they are very easy because it's all your fears, all those deep insecurities that since you are a kid, they keep coming up. Those ones are an amazing opportunity. That fear, that insecurity, that trauma that comes to you anytime you are in that particular situation is an amazing, extraordinary opportunity that is knocking onto your door to say, hey, I'm here again. I am the way out. What are you going to do now? You're going to avoid me again, or you want to deal with me? Men, they avoid any kind of confrontation in generally speaking. Of course, there are, we are so many, there are men doing amazing work with themselves, but generally speaking, we avoid pain, we avoid confrontations with ourselves, within and with others, and we avoid as much as possible any form of discomfort. So what we do, we need to look for validation outside ourselves. Therefore, we buy the latest Mercedes. Therefore, we want to impress people in some way, somehow. We buy sex, or we buy everything because instead of maybe going to the relationship, which put yourself with another human being, she's going to mirror your fears, you're going to mirror her fears, and it's going to be a war of projecting one another, who is better, who is worse. It's work. But what if the meaning of life is exactly that one? It's not avoiding the pain. It's not
Mm.
even celebrating the pain. It's simply knowing how to deal with it and being okay that there are times to shine, a time to stand still and deal with our traumas. There is nothing bad. And actually, Dano came last Saturday. I designed and created this it's a kind of gathering, could be spread in 3 hours or even 3 days as a men's retreat that we did previously a couple of times. It's called the Brave Man Experience. So we opened the circle, all men. We set intention. What is men's work? Why it's so important for men to gather in a tribe to overcome the feeling of isolation and be shoulder by shoulder without judgment. So the guys, you see, start to get engaged. Then we celebrate the masculine energy, the manhood, through a workout. Because either you like it or you don't. Either you're accepting it or you don't. You can have, you can be overweight 100 kg. You can tell yourself that it's okay. But we both know that it's not. You don't need to be an athlete, but you need to live as a man with a nice, healthy body. You don't need to be a bodybuilder, but you must to treat your body accordingly. So once your testosterone is high, doesn't matter your age, according to your age, you still have strong libido, you are focused, you are ambitious. But if we neglect to overwork ourselves, to buy the Mercedes, to prove somebody that we don't even like that we are enough, then we fuck it out. So what we do, we overwork. We don't have time to buy proper food. Maybe we're single, so we eat processed food. Maybe we need 2 beers to go to sleep because we cannot sleep without beer. And then what we start to do, we start to create a cycle of life where we start to fuck it up. Then, of course, we have low energy. Let me have a line so, I get some energy back. So we get involved in order to avoid the discomfort. We create so much pain, so much frustration and self-judgment in our life. And you can only get to this realization if you just pause a second. I know, Dano, myself too, it took me years. As men, if you pause, the first voice that comes into your head, you're not doing nothing, you're not providing. We get so many fears. I'm not doing. But there is so much power of pausing. You can be for 10 minutes, you can be for 1 hour, or take one day off, switching the phone, pausing and do some self-reflection, getting a notepad and write down what's going on in your life. You don't need to prove to anybody. And you don't need to be a guru. You don't need to be a master meditator to do this. You just buy a pen, a notebook, and you write down what's going on in your life just to check, is this the right things that I'm going through? I can clearly see there are certain areas in my life that they are not working. I'm making money, but my relationship are fucked up. I have a great relationship, I'm not able to make money. Anytime I try to engage with a woman, I got rejected. So you got to stop a second. And trust me, you're going to be safe. Even if you take some time for yourself just to reflect, you're going to be safe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think this should reflect with all of our listeners here. And it kind of brings this idea to my mind, which is about victim mode and creator mode. And I think most of us, it's so much more comfortable to be in victim mode where everybody else is responsible and we are just a victim. And, we have nothing to do with all this. And it was my father, it was my boss, it is this and that. To take responsibility, to take this, like to shut down for a while and to look inside and to see what is actually happening in me and how I am creating this life that is happening and how I am responsible for this life. That is what I call creator mode. And and these are the two paths we can take as humans, and they make a huge difference. And I think what you said just now is basically describing the creator mode, who will take responsibility, look inside, and actually deal with his own traumas, with his own, things that holding him back to become the better version of himself. Yes, Dr. Maurizio, that was very inspiring.
I think, Dano, thanks for this opportunity. You know that I respect you as a man, as a friend, as a businessman. And I know that both of us, we are on LinkedIn, so most likely going to post. And it's so important, even on LinkedIn, that everybody showcase, how cool they are, crazy, resumes and CVs. At times it takes one conversation between men, and there are times you gotta be strong. Yeah, of course. There are situations that you cannot be vulnerable. If you are a CEO, a GM, or a C-suite manager, with your employees, no one is telling you to be vulnerable. But what I'm asking you, find your tribe. Your tribe means maybe could be one or two or three men that you can really trust, that you can be open and give yourself the opportunity. When a man opens up, other men will immediately open up because it's like very unusual. And if you don't have the tribe, reach out to me or to Dano. You can join the men's circle. If you are in Kuala Lumpur or Penang, you can join wherever you are based. Check Google men's circle, no, Vancouver, Rome, wherever you are. There are plenty of it. Find your tribe. You will be very proud of your choice.
Yes, sir. And I will make sure that all the details will be under this video in the description. You will find the links and the email addresses, whatever Mauri would like to share. And of course, he also has a website. So you can find a lot of stuff about Mauri, and I strongly encourage you to get in touch with him because for me
A
it
new
has.
amazing website is coming up, guys. A new
Oh
amazing website.
yeah, oh there's yeah, there's great stuff is in the making. Yeah, man. As a closing word, Mr. I mean, we kind of skipped the life journey part, but I think we had so many things to talk about. It's fine, it's fine. But still, I would like to ask you this one question that I always ask my guests. Like, if you could give some advice to 10-year-old Mauri, what would it be?
Oh, I would say using a quote from Saint Francis of Assisi, which I found it always so profound. I will look at him. Actually, I will take him on my lap. I will look at him. I will hug him, and I will look at him straight into the eyes, and I would say, start doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you will find yourself doing the impossible. And I will hug him. I will whisper him in his ears. Be always true to yourself. Be always true to yourself. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And why this? Because the meaning of life is about getting to know ourselves. And in the degree that we do that, magically, maybe somebody of you already experienced the quality of relationship. All enemies, they fade out. We start to have amazing relationship with others because whatever we are living is an expression of what we have within. So if you are struggling to have to receive compassion from others or understanding, or you get avoided or pushed down, it's because that's what is you're doing within yourself. So when I say start doing what is necessary, necessary means to acknowledge what is not working in your life, pause a second, being aware of what is not working, and that is the necessary. That is the first step, the immediate step you have to take. Once you solve, example, the way you communicate with others and with yourself, the way you treat yourself and you treat others, and you see things changing. So as we said, you go to the next level, then you do what is possible. Means, okay, now that I have good relationship, I start to eat good, sleep well, leave all distractions, be focused. What is possible now? Okay, then acknowledge your passion. And your passions, they're not sitting here. Here are sitting what your father wants you to do, or whatever conditioning you have. The truth is always here. And how do you achieve to have a connection with your heart? Is calm yourself down. That's why breath work, mindful practices, meditation, journaling, there are thousands of tools that you can use. Once you quiet your mind and there's no disturbances here, you're able to connect and ask yourself, what I truly love to do. I love painting. And that is something that you can develop because that is your passion. But we are so afraid to listen to our heart because what if I just follow my passions and I'm not going to make a living out of it? That is the limiting mind that is trying to keep you on your comfort zone. It's the same limiting mind that is trying to tell you stay watching Netflix and eating chips instead to go to the gym. It's the same voice that says, don't put yourself out. You will never find a partner. But your heart knows that you are enough. Your heart knows that you deserve. So that's why you start to do the necessary, then the possible. And once you get used and you prove yourself, wow, I made a choice and I stick to the plan, then the impossible will come. The things that you never even thought were possible, simply because you start to be aligned with yourself. But in order to get aligned, remember, you need to solve what is necessary to be solved. Then you do what is possible to do. And then you suddenly, boom, you do the impossible. That's what I would say to my younger 10 years of age.
Wow. Yeah. I think this is something I would also like to hear my 10-year-old version as well. Yeah. The necessary, the possible, and then the impossible. Cool. That's, I mean, dude, I mean, the transcript of this video will be like a little ebook already. And I'd like to express my gratitude to all our listeners who are still with us at this time. It's been a very, very insightful episode with you, Mauri. I know you are a great guy. You're doing amazing work, and I think it's really worthwhile to listen to what you have to say, and also follow your tribe, and maybe also engage you as a coach, which is also an option, as I know. All right, man.
Absolutely.
So I would say thank you so much. We will stay in touch, and I'll make sure that people can reach out to you in the description.
Thank you. Thank you, each one of you, for watching. Absolutely. Reach out to me. Dano will leave in the caption. I'm willing to have a conversation. And thank you, Dano, for this opportunity. Whoever is meant to receive the message we've been sharing today, it will receive. And that's the most important thing, you know. And we are here to contribute. Today, you and me, we've been contributing, and that's more than enough.